Thanks, Secretary General. Jens, great remarks. I couldn't do better, but I'm going to try. It's great to be with you all tonight. General Miller, thank you for bringing everybody by, all these brave men and women. I'm sure you had nothing to do better on a Saturday night in Kabul than to listen to the Secretary General and I babble on, but we're going to do our best. It's funny how time is. It's pretty chilly here tonight, and as I was sitting here, it reminds me of my first time in Afghanistan. It was actually November or December of 2001. U.S. forces were on the ground in Afghanistan and in the northern part, and we were with a group, I think it was JSOC, who was actually bringing President Karzai, or soon to be President Karzai, across the border up into Bagram. And Bagram at that point in time was just a beat-up, demolished airfield. And somehow we found a bunker to meet with them, and I was with the congressional delegation. We spent a lot of time with them. So it's interesting how, and I've been back to Afghanistan many times since there, on and off. It's interesting to see how far we've come, and today could be a very historic moment. So I want to thank you all for what you've done from the bottom of my heart as a former soldier myself. I know the sacrifices you've all made. I know the sacrifices your families have made. So thank you for what you do. It's great to be here in Kabul again with the troops of the Resolute Support Coalition. As I said, I want to start by thanking you all for your service. We have over 25 nations represented here, all working towards the one common objective, and you all know what that is, to ensure Afghanistan never again becomes a safe haven from which terrorists can attack our countries. Secretary General said that very well. Since the terrorist attacks of 9/11, we have fought alongside each other and our Afghan partners to achieve this goal. And you've been successful, very successful. Many of you served multiple tours here, missing out on birthdays and anniversaries and funerals and all kinds of other important life events. Your families have sacrificed much as well, doing their best to maintain a sense of normalcy while you have been away serving your country. And some of you standing here today may not have been even born when this war first began. Is there anybody that was born here after 9/11? I know they're out there in the ranks. Throughout the course of the past 19 years, almost 800,000 U.S. troops have served in Afghanistan. Over 20,000 of our veterans have been wounded here in combat and will forever bear the scars of this conflict. And nearly 2,000 brave Americans made the ultimate sacrifice on Afghan soil by laying down their lives in the defense of freedom. Across the coalition, other nations have sacrificed their own blood and treasure to help bring peace to a country that has been at war for far, far too long. Together, our military coalition has worked tirelessly to support the Afghan security forces. Over time, we have watched them grow in capability as they have taken the lead for the security of their own country. They've done well. And today, they are an effective force on the battlefield thanks to the efforts of this coalition. But despite this progress, achieving our objectives in Afghanistan will not come from military force alone. You all know that. And an end to the fighting will happen only when Afghans decide for themselves to lay down their arms and come together as one people. We're at that moment. That is why the best path forward for the future of this country is through a political settlement. An agreement that respects the integrity of the Afghan people and preserves the accomplishments that we and our Afghan partners have fought so hard to achieve. Today, Afghanistan took a great step forward along that path. Just a couple hours ago in Doha, Qatar, as many of you know, the United States signed an agreement with the Taliban that sets the conditions for a political settlement to end this war. And earlier today, President Ghani and I made a joint declaration alongside the Secretary General and General Miller of our commitment to carry out that agreement, which begins with an intra-Afghan dialogue between the Taliban and the Afghan government. These events mark an historic opportunity for Afghanistan to pursue a future of peace. But despite today's significance, we still have a long way to go, and that's what I want to speak to you about. All of our decisions moving forward are conditions-based, and require the Taliban to maintain the ongoing reduction in violence. If the Taliban fail to uphold their commitments, they will forfeit their chance to engage in negotiations with the Afghan government and will not have a say in the future of this country. However, should the Taliban abide by the agreement, the United States will begin a deliberate phase with redeployment of troops, initially reducing our force down to 8,600. As we do this, we will work closely with our allies and partners to reduce their forces as well in a proportional manner. Just as we entered this fight together, we will draw down together, and we will eventually leave together. That is our goal. Fully reducing our presence in Afghanistan down to zero, our ultimate objective, will take many months, many months. Even as we draw down our forces, our train, advise, and assist mission will continue, and we will not hesitate. We will not hesitate to strike terrorist threats throughout the country as they emerge. Central to our agreement with the Taliban are measures to prevent the use of Afghan soil by terrorist groups or other individuals who seek to harm the United States or our allies. Should that ever become compromised, we will take all necessary measures to protect our homelands and our people. Those of you standing here today must recognize that your mission is far from over. In fact, you all face a very significant challenge as we look to transition even more responsibility to our Afghan partners. Afghanistan is still a very dangerous place, with multiple terrorist groups who would like nothing more than to spoil the ongoing efforts toward peace. Your number one priority remains the protection of our people, and you must not let your guard down. Stay vigilant. I expect you to carry out your duties with the utmost professionalism and vigor as you always have, and do not become complacent, even as we move towards a more peaceful environment. As we draw down our forces, the United States and our international partners remain fully committed to our relationship with the government of Afghanistan and its security forces. We will continue to provide them support as necessary to assist in their ability to defend the people of Afghanistan. We have shed much blood with our Afghan brothers in arms, and it is important to all of us for them to succeed. Ultimately, that success and an end of the war depends on Afghans joining together to embrace this opportunity. This is the best chance Afghanistan has had in 19 years to achieve peace. The sacrifices of all those who have come before you have brought us to where we are today. And the brave work of this military coalition has set the conditions for this process to succeed. The road ahead will not be an easy one. We've all said that, but no one is better prepared than all of you to lead us through this transition. The American people and the President of the United States are proud of all that you've accomplished and thankful for your continued service. I'm honored to be here with you today as we look forward to the coming weeks and months with optimism. May all of you stay safe, remain vigilant, and continue to serve with honor. God bless you all. Thank you very much for what you do. Take care.